Understanding. We're back again this week. And first I want to introduce the brothers to you. Starting to my left.
Kenny B, Wise Man #1.
Don P, Wise Man #2.
Ben Richards, Wise Man #3.
100% Wise Man #4.
Aries, Wise Man #5.
Steve Rogers, Wise Man #6.
Jen, the 7th Wise Man.
Alright. The first topic that we want to bring up today is kind of talking about second chances. As you see in the news, my man Ted Williams, the homeless man on the freeway, he kind of got a second chance on life. And I want to ask the panel, is there any time that you feel like you need a second chance? Have you had a second chance? What would you do with your second chance, or what did you do with that second chance on life? I'm going to start with the first.
Well, first of all, let me just say, I think it's a beautiful thing that the man got a second chance, because it's a lot of people out here that's, you know, homeless. It's a lot of people incarcerated that actually have talent, and they're looking for that second chance and waiting to get that second chance, and a lot of people don't. You know, I mean, I've got a second chance. This is my second chance right here. God has blessed me and put me in a position where I can talk to you people and express how I feel. So, you know, I think it's a beautiful thing when you can get a second chance, because there's a lot of people out there that's just waiting for that second chance. And you know what? Sometimes when you give those people that second chance, they become productive people in society. And this right here is what a lot of people need. It cuts down on the taxes, everybody. We stopped sending Negroes to jail and sending people to jail. It cuts down on the taxes when you give them a second chance. So think about it. Second chance is a beautiful thing. Enough said.
That's true. What about you, Don P?
Well, you know, I have to agree with the first. You know, basically a second chance really is a blessing for a lot of people. Most people don't get a second chance. Most people, you know, you fail one time in this world and, you know, that's either your life or you're destitute for the rest of your life. I mean, fortunately, I haven't been in a position where I've had to have a second chance, you know, financially or socially or anything like that. You know, I've always tried to do my best, and I made mistakes, but where Mr. Williams, this dude has been, you know, like I've never been there, like just down to nothing, having a bag, had panhandle on the side of the interstate or nothing like that. But you know, I agree. It's like a Cinderella story, really. You know, it's like from rags to riches. Pretty cool.
All right, so let me pose another question to you. He kind of put himself in that situation. He put himself there. You know what I'm saying? He was an alcoholic. He didn't take care of his family, and he ended up on the street. So let me ask the third. Do you think he was deserving of that second chance?
And I'm glad you mentioned that. I was just going to say the same thing, because I remember hearing about that. They said that as a younger guy in society, he actually went to school for voice acting to be in studio work, and he was trying to mold himself into that possibility. And like you said, he ruined it with doing what he did. He was fortunate enough to get that second chance now. You know, thank God. And I mean, he's making it work now. Let's hope anyway. But I mean, I still think, though, honestly, I mean, look, none of us could really say that we haven't made a bad choice in our life, even if a good position was there for us. So I mean, that doesn't take away from the fact that the guy deserved his second chance, you know. And if he's going to make it work now, if he does it again, then I agree that, you know, it's just over for the guy. If he learned from his mistakes and he can make it work like most people should have the chance to do, I don't see any problem with that.
All right. How you feel about that?
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, sometimes in life you get situations that happens and, you know, you get lost, you know. So he got lost, and the Cavalier organization, I commend you guys for allowing brother to get back into the game and giving him a second chance to do good with his life. You know, mistakes happen. Nobody's perfect in society at all. So at the end of the day, you know, you deserve a second chance, not of a third chance. You get a second chance, you know what I'm saying? So I commend the Cavalier organization and everybody, you know, and the man for trying to better his life, you know what I mean? So that's how I feel about it.
All right. I got another question. I'm going to pass it over to the sixth. Oprah said she wants him on her new network. You think the media is blowing this situation way out of proportion? Or do you think it's well deserved?
Well, not out of proportion, but you know, Americans, we tend to like the feel-good story. So who better than Oprah to put someone, you know, like this guy and his story from, you know, being, you know, on drugs and what have you, and coming back on his feet, and you give that to Oprah, that's a home run. So, you know, why not? And God bless him. I think it's a good thing for him.
How you feel about that, Seventh?
Well, I feel like getting second chances, having gone through it myself, it's for him beautiful, you know. But I do have a kind of gripe with this, with the whole publicity thing, because there's a lot of people out there that's actually trying to get jobs, and this is just one guy, and all of a sudden you're hearing all these responses from these different people, and it's, what happened to you like a week ago or a month ago? How come, you know, you guys weren't out there saying, well, we're willing to hire other people to do the same position that he's doing? You know, I think they're capitalizing on this, I don't know, this one person, when there's a lot of people that out there that really needs the job. And I hope that he, you know, he looks after his family that he forgotten. You know,
there's a lot of other more qualified people that could be absolutely jobless, especially in this market now, that's probably paid their dues and earned to be where he is, but he's practically just been on the street, and like he hasn't lived a very productive life. That's why he is where he is.
Yeah.
And my thing with not agreeing with it is because look at the market right now. Look how many people out there that need jobs. Not to hate on him. Mm-hmm. He looked up. He's doing his thing, mm-hmm. and that's fine. But there's so many people out there that went to college and got masters, got degrees in journalism and everything with the same kind of voices or better voices that are struggling to feed their families now. You know what I'm saying? And you take them off the street and clean him up a little bit, give him a cut, make him meet his mother, and now all of a sudden he's like a national treasure. We want him on the Cavaliers, doing the Cavaliers announcer work, and you know how many people have probably applied for that job, or looking for that job, and sitting there like, come on, man,
but the way his second chance came about, not everyone goes through his, his avenue, because this guy was a YouTube sensation.
Exactly.
So, not everyone who's kind of like down in their luck, they don't have the luxury of putting their life story, I guess, on YouTube. So, second chances is also dependent on, especially when it's played out in the media, if the person's, likable or not. Because when Michael Vick had his chance to get his second chance, it seemed like the whole country didn't want him to have his second chance. So, second chances, it goes with who the person who's getting the second chance and how the people views this person getting the second chance.
So then it all goes back to who you know. Or basically, who sees you.
See, with him, it was somebody that taped him. Somebody drove, oh, you got to see this. They drove up to him, and he did, oh, this is your, and he did that. So with that guy shooting that video, and he put it out to the masses, everybody seen that, and they was like, oh, this guy has a voice. The voice is golden. Damn, what happened to him? So he became likable to America. It's not like everybody can go and make a tape. It's like he had a tape. Somebody just was driving and seen them there with a sign, and he did something different than other. Instead of asking people, let me get $1 or $2 because I gotta eat, he did his little voice thing, and everybody adapted. So now he became known as, yo, there's a guy on Route 790 that has this voice that's remarkable.
All right, so I just, out of the group here, I see it more in a spiritual aspect. Granted, yes, if that person would have not rode down that road and taped him, he would not be where he was. But I, being a spiritual person, believe that God put that person on that road at that particular time to take that person. Now, I have this idea. Everybody might not have this idea, but it was given to me a long time ago by another spiritual person. God doesn't give you anything until he thinks you're ready for it. So see, we talk about what he did in his past and how he messed that up. Maybe at that time, he wasn't ready for it. So he had to go through some trial and tribulation to honestly appreciate life. Because for the viewers out there who doesn't know, I've been out of work for a year and some change. And my life has changed completely within that year of me being out of work. A lot of things that I have done in the time that I was working, when I had money and I was going to work every day, it was very unappreciative. But now that I'm not working, I believe God has put something in me to show me how to appreciate the things that I didn't appreciate now. And I believe that's what happened to this man. God put it where, look, I'm going to show you didn't appreciate the gift I gave you. I'm going to show you how fast I can take it away from you. And he took it away from him, but then he gave him the chance to do it again. Okay, I believe you're ready now. Let's go.
So with that statement, with that in mind, and looking at everything that's going on in the world right now, especially with the animals and the animals dying and everything, you think that God is trying to show all of us something, especially with the animals?
I believe so because, you know, this thing with the animals is like really, I don't want to say it's crazy, but it's one of those things like it's an eye opener. You know, we have a lot of people out here. I don't knock what people believe. You know, you got 5%ers, you got Muslims, you got Jews, you got whatever. I don't knock what people believe because my goal is, and my thought is, if it all leads to God, it's a beautiful thing because God we know exists. I mean, there's no one out here that can tell me there's not a greater power. You know, God exists. But, like, there are certain things that God has done to show you that he exists. And a lot of times, especially with man always tries to take something that's unexplainable and try to put science to it. You cannot put science to a whole bunch of birds just dropping dead out the sky. A whole bunch of fish just coming up on land and they're dead. There's no way in the world you can do that.
Hold on. How you feel about that, Seventh?
Well, I feel like, you know, the spiritual aspect of it, you know, it makes me, it's like I question it, you know. They also, at the same time all this incident was going on, they were talking about there was like a change in the magnetic pole. All right, so maybe the animals are a little bit more sensitive to that than we are. And any little slight change would cause, I guess, maybe cause them to die, you know?
Well, didn't that change happen already? Like,
no, as a matter of fact, they were saying in the news, like I think it was yesterday, that there was a change in the magnetic pole. So it affects the animals. You know, they're a little bit more sensitive to it than we are. So that
to nature than we are.
Right. That could be one of the reasons. You know.
Well, all right. So then I'll tell you this: it could be a reason, or is it a smoke screen by media to make it look like it's a magnetic pole when it's something deeper than that? It could be something spiritual, like
I see it.
You have to understand the media's job. In essence, when you break down the media's, like the news groups and everything, their job is to control the masses. Now, say these were signs of the apocalypse or whatever the case is, it would cause some kind of panic.
Sure would.
And the media's job is to invent something to, let's say, keep the people, okay. Oh, there's an explanation because everybody wants a reason behind everything.
Well, let me ask you a question though.
Right?
Say there wasn't a whole apocalyptic prophecy. Say there wasn't a whole apocalyptic prophecy, and this was just a random event that happened, say, 10 years ago. Would the media be putting so much emphasis on this? You know, you gotta think. This could be. I mean, I'm not gonna knock anybody's beliefs, but it seems to me that these are a couple of random occurrences. Most of them centered around Arkansas, and another in Sweden. But you know, these are unrelated events that happened, and you try to explain them, but you know, it really goes to interpretation at this point because it's on people's mind. You know, it's
since like 2012.